Hello, good morning. As I said earlier, I'll say it again, I'm going to keep it real today. When the subject of tithes and offerings come up, I often feel resistance in my heart as soon as I hear those words. And I think that's probably natural for most people because it's human nature. We are innately selfish. You think about how one of the first things that a child does when they start playing with other kids, mine, just reclaiming that toy that's precious to them and holding it to their chest. Well, the Lord, in His love and His wisdom, He reclaims what is rightfully His. We have nothing that He did not give to us. And Psalm 24:1 says that the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. So why does the Lord tell us to tithe and give? He doesn't need the money. Well, He tells us to do that for our own good, to increase our faith, to cultivate generosity, and that helps other people. And it's also to teach us self-control. And something else about giving that I know I've really noticed is that it helps to create an attitude of just being open, because letting go is required in order to receive. Currently, I live a couple of $100s a month above the poverty line. And the idea of tithing 10%, giving an offering on top of that, when I'm on a fixed income in a really difficult economy, creates anxiety. But only if I use my flawed human logic to think through that. One of the things that I have really found so remarkable is a lesson from years ago often comes back to my mind whenever I struggle with feeling nervous and afraid and having that anxiety. And it was something that my mom illustrated about tithing. She put a $1 bill and a dime on the table. She said, God gives us $1 and all He asks for in return is 10 cents. That really struck me. Wow, just 10 cents, a dime. Okay, I can do that. But still in the world's economy, none of that makes sense. Why are you going to give money when you don't even have enough to make ends meet? But in God's economy, He tells us that that is what will open the storehouses of heaven for us. And I have seen that in my life time and time again. Amen. Never fails, ever. God is so faithful. He is true to His word. He keeps His promises. One of my favorite verses is Numbers 23:19. It says, God is not human that He should lie, not a human being that He should change His mind. Does He speak and then not act? Does He promise and not fulfill? He always fulfills, always. The Lord has proven Himself faithful to me over and over again. Times when I haven't known how are the bills going to get paid, He has never let me down, ever. There was one time in particular where I really thought, I do not know how these bills are going to get paid. And I may as well have been walking on water because it took that much faith for me to say, okay, I'm going to trust you. And even our faith, we're told in the Bible, is a gift from God. He is so generous. It's just overwhelming to me. So as I've trusted in God, how is He taking care of me? Well, it is usually in very practical ways. I'll have an expense that just disappears. For example, I won't have a water bill that month. Sometimes it will be a matter of a bill gets deferred and I end up not having to pay it until I have the money. Sometimes, without saying a word to anyone, I'm invited to a meal that saves on the grocery budget. I'll plan to buy something, I end up getting it for free. Someone gives me a gift. And the thing that I have found actually that has increased my faith the most was when I had one month in particular. I was a couple of $100 short of being able to just pay the bills, not to mention giving. And I was so tempted to hold on to every dime. I'm telling you, it was a struggle. But I could just hear the Spirit of the Lord beckoning me, trust me, see how I provide for you. So, okay, I took him at his word, and I made the tough decision to give sacrificially and just leave it in his hands. Halfway through that month, my bank balance increased, and there was no deposit in my account. And I'm thinking, oh, what did I do? I didn't pay a bill. What did I miss? So I checked it. I double-checked it. I triple-checked it. I went to sleep, triple-checked it again the next day with fresh eyes. I not only had enough money to pay all of my bills, I had extra. There was no logical explanation for it, but there was a supernatural one. Now, I am not saying that God is going to magically deposit money into everyone's bank account. It'd be great if I could assure you of that. But what I can assure you of, to me, is even better. It is that God can be taken at his word, and he will provide for you in the way that is best for you in that moment, in that situation. And he will never fail. He will always come through for you. If you just dare to trust him, choose to trust him, and you give to him your first fruits obediently, in faith and in expectation of what he will do, he will honor your sacrifice. If you're struggling to take that step to give financially, I just encourage you to pray. If you're afraid of doing it, Father, please give me the faith and the courage to trust you in this. If you have no desire to give your tithes and offerings, Father, I desire to have the desire. If you pray to him in sincerity, he'll answer you. Your faith will increase, I promise you. And I can only promise you that because he has promised you first. And he who promised is faithful. Thank you, Jesus.